Hey everybody, welcome back to the Couch Busters. We are on episode 7. Thank you so much for joining us. Your hosts, the dynamic duo, Michelle and Dave, as we embark on a journey of self-discovery, cultural fusion, and heartfelt conversations. As you guys can kind of tell by our apparel, we're doing something a little bit different today. We're kind of mid-season, if you will, and so we wanted to switch it up and have a little bit of fun. Michelle, why don't you tell the audience what we're going to be doing?
Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit about conspiracy theories.
One of my favorite topics ever.
I think Dave is really into conspiracy theories, and there's a couple that I find myself going down rabbit holes of on the dark webs of TikTok. But today we're going to pick one conspiracy theory each and try to convince the other person that it's real.
Yeah, and as you can tell, Jedi is totally into it too.
Yeah, we made a little tinfoil hat. Apparently that's a thing in conspiracy theories. Can you explain what this means? Because I had no idea what
the tinfoil hat is big in the conspiracy theorist community, especially for kind of identifying us and making fun of us.
Well, you are really embracing your
this is my identity. This is who I am. This is who I am. This is who you've married. This is who you've married,
I guess so. We're now a family of conspiracy theorists.
A dog with.
I kind of feel weird about saying that online.
Yes. Well, all right. So what's going to happen is I'm going to be going first, and we're each going to be having 5 minutes to share, as Michelle mentioned, our favorite conspiracy theory. And the other person is going to have their hat off. And by the end of explaining the theory, if the other person believes it, they are either going to put a hat on to say, hey, I believe you. I'm with you, brethren. Or they're going to knock the hat off of the other person saying, your theory is whack, bro. I'm totally confident. I'm going to go first. And so my theory is...
Wait, did you explain fully what the tinfoil hat represents?
I
don't think you did.
No, but I don't really know what it is. So I don't like getting called out on that. I thought you said it was
like something to do with like UFOs.
I looked it up and it's something completely different.
Oh my gosh. He totally convinced me the other day.
That's a conspiracy theory. Okay. Right? Anyways, my conspiracy theory is titled... Aliens are in our oceans. Very ominous, right? Very, very ominous. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be breaking down my conspiracy theory into 5 different areas, 5 different stories. You're so organized. I'm very organized. I'm ready to convince you, okay?
I do have bullet points.
We're going to do a journey through time, starting all the way from 1931, all the way up to the Disclosure Project that was announced. It was a Pentagon organized disclosure project in which they kind of unveiled to the world what they've been seeing from like a military landscape.
In 1939?
No, this is more recent. The 1931 story is from Francis Chichester. He's a British aviator who made the first solo flight across the Tasman Sea, east to west, New Zealand to Australia. Now, there's a YouTube video where he recounts his encounter of a mysterious UFO during that journey. This is one of, if not the earliest UFO eyewitness testimonies recorded on film. So let's take a look.
Mr. Francis Chichester, the famous yachtsman and pioneer aviator, works at his map-making office. In 1931, he made the first solo flight from New Zealand to Australia. 34 years later, he remembers something he saw during the flight.
It was a perfect shape. It was shaped sort of like a pearl with a tail. Just a blimp, a pure blimp shape. And I watched this thing, and suddenly it disappeared. And I thought, well, am I seeing things? I'd had a very grueling flight. I'd been waiting for. I had engine trouble, and I'd been waiting for hours, expecting to go into the sea, you know. However, suddenly this thing reappeared, coming towards me, and I thought, well, I'm not going to let it go this time, and I kept my look fixed on it, and it was approaching fairly fast, and then suddenly, gradually rather, it began to thin out, and it vanished in front of me, and before my eyes. It became a sort of ghost. I could see the water, the waves of the sea through it for one instant, and then it vanished.
Pretty crazy, right? Pretty crazy. So that's the first piece of evidence that I want to show you, right? I know you're not
from 1931.
That was from 1931, and I know you're not convinced just yet.
How do you know I'm not convinced?
Just wait. In 1994, so we're jumping a bunch of generations, right? So there were other accounts of people seeing UFOs coming in and out of the water, right? For about 100 years from
Wait,
the
what year?
1931, which was when the video was, first published. And then in 1994, I want to tell you about a story in which it involves normal people. In fact, over 300 people in West Michigan area that reported seeing in 1994 seeing multiple UFOs on a day that they described as Christmas lights in the sky. They saw, these people in West Michigan, a stream of red, white, and green lights doing impossible maneuvers in and around Lake Michigan. Radar data actually confirms what these people were seeing, as this phenomenon lasted several hours. There are dozens of recorded conversations to the police with police testimonial actually corroborating what people were seeing. So this was in 1994, another big mass encounter with UFOs, UAPs that were coming in and out of water, right? Then in November 2004, Navy pilots Commander Dave Fravor and Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich were training with the USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group, a gigantic ship out there that was stationed.
Where?
Stationed about 100 miles southwest of San Diego in the Pacific Ocean. Radars at the time detected anomalous objects that descended 80,000 feet in less than a second.
What?
The two were
in 2004?
In 2004.
Less than a second?
The two were ordered to investigate. They flew out in two separate planes with a backseater in each of them. What they saw was incredible. Let's take a look. All right. Take a look at this. This one's crazy.
It was November 2004, and the USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group was training about 100 miles southwest of San Diego. The advanced new radar on a nearby ship, the USS Princeton, had detected what operators called multiple anomalous aerial vehicles over the horizon. Fravor and Dietrich, each with a weapons system officer in the back seat, were ordered to investigate.
So, as we're looking at this, her backseater says, "Hey, Skipper, do you?" And about that got out, I said, "Dude, do you see that thing down there?" And we saw this little white tic-tac looking object, and it's just kind of moving above the whitewater area.
Like no predictable movement, no predictable trajectory.
Yeah.
I guess. It was just
like a ping pong ball.
No acceleration.
It goes and just turns abruptly and starts mirroring me. So as I'm coming down, it starts coming up.
Ooh, that's scary.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy, right?
What if it was like an enemy ship, or like an enemy, like on Earth, not an alien enemy?
So they said that based on the speed that it was going at, it's not possible for
anything that like humans created at that time.
Yeah, it's not human technology that they found there, especially because of the speed in which it descended north to south. 80,000 feet in less than a second is not possible.
That was detected on radars?
In the current realm of human technology. Yes, it was. All right, so that was November 2004. In May 2016, there was an individual or group that goes by the alias Secure Team 10, which is known for sharing bizarre and unexplained sightings on YouTube, posted a video on YouTube showing what appears to be an area off the Pacific coast that shows an underwater mountainous area with a straight path that was carved leading up to it in the ocean.
Wait, how far underwater?
This was miles underwater, and this was actually on Google Earth. So this was someone that was just kind of on Google Earth.
How do you
and looking
see
for
a
this.
mountain underwater?
So Google Earth is able to show
underwater.
like terrains and stuff, right? So this one's kind of a little bit in the murkier area, but they did post the coordinates. So this was something that was corroborated by multiple other people that they were like, no, this guy's a tinfoil hat guy, right? But they were able to corroborate because he was able to post the coordinates of the Google Earth area.
Like, has anyone been to this mountain underwater?
Not sure. But what they were seeing was that, again, there was a straight path that was carved leading up to this mountainous area. But what's even more bizarre and interesting is the 2-mile object on the ocean floor that appears to be making zigzags towards it. So there's not only a mountainous area with a straight path leading up to it, but there's a big circular object that clearly made zigzags going towards this thing. And there's a video for that I'd like to show you where it literally shows you this object on the ground with sand marks. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, cool.
I'm going to show you this here. Now, you may see it.
Look at
but
that.
If you don't, I want you to turn your attention to this circular object.
Looks like something under
right
a petri
here.
dish.
Now, look at this thing. Well, first of all, we have one of these massively long trenches, and you can see the sides of it. I mean, there's shadowing here. I mean, this looks dug into the sand, and in the middle of this long path, which again heads over to this area here, which holds some very anomalous items, we see this large circular object and an obvious path or trail created by this object. Look at this thing zigzagging. Look at this thing moving, and we can follow this thing down all the way down here, continues here, and goes into this blurred out area. How convenient. So we'll follow this track back up, and it zigzags. And now this is very peculiar, and you're going to see why here in a second, because honestly, I don't know how this was created.
Pretty crazy, right?
How do you know for sure that this is Google Earth image?
Because other people corroborated it. Like in the comment section below
They say.
of the video, they were like, hey, I typed in the coordinates.
How does Google Earth go into the ocean like
But the crazy
that?
thing is, I will say that I tried to look for it myself, and Google Earth has since blurred it completely. You can't go and look
They
at
blur
this
things?
area. Yeah, you cannot go and look up that coordinate
That's
directly.
sketchy.
That's kind of sketch, Google Earth, kind of sketch.
Very sketch.
Anyways, that was my third point there, right? So that was in 2016.
Okay.
Then in 2019, we're nearing the ends, don't worry. The Navy said that there have been a number of the Navy said that there have been, quote, a number of reported or unauthorized unidentified aircraft entering various military controlled ranges and designated airspace in recent areas. In 2021, the Pentagon set up a UAP task force to collect and analyze evidence gathered by service members who are now being encouraged to report strange encounters. And that was a direct response of, remember November 2004, when I showed you that video of the Navy pilots that saw the tic-tac shaped ping pong object? They had a number of those different kinds of stories that were reported by different service members. And so the Pentagon eventually was like, you know what, we have to start gathering all of the evidence that we can and actually come out with a full disclosure report, which they later ended up doing in 2022.
The Pentagon came out a report about aliens.
That's correct.
Okay.
And this is public information at this
Okay.
point. That same year in 2021, Luis Lou Elizondo, who was the former director of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or AATIP, this was a government program that was created in 2007, committed to the investigation of the UAPs. He mentioned that UAPs seem to have a predilection for large bodies of water,
UAP.
which is an unidentified aerial phenomenon. So a lot of people think it's just UFO, unidentified flying object.
Yeah.
It has since been changed to UAP to more kind of closely resemble what people are seeing, which are unidentified aerial phenomena.
Gotcha.
There's another class of UFOs, UAPs, which is USO, which is an unidentified submerged object, which are some of the things that we're kind of talking about now, but they all kind of are in this realm of UAP and UAP investigation. So again, Luis Lou Elizondo, former director of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, comes out and says, hey, these things have a predilection for large bodies of water. And this is going to be my final clip.
These things. So he recognizes that there's multiple of them.
That's right. So let's take a look.
I think there's two congruencies that we see. We see an interest in our nuclear capabilities, and then we have this really bizarre what I don't know if you call it an interest, but there seems to be a connection with water. And these things have a tendency to be seen in and around water, which kind of leads to one of the observables we're talking about, and that's transmedium travel and water. The ability for an object to fly not only in our atmosphere, low and high altitudes, but also potentially in a vacuum environment like space and even underwater. Now, we do have vehicles that can do that. We have, for example, a seaplane. A seaplane is a plane that can fly and it can float on the water. But when you look at it, it's neither really a very good aircraft or a boat because it's a design compromise. And yet what we are seeing are objects that can operate in all these domains or all these environments, seemingly without any type of performance compromise.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's kind of, the Pentagon and the US government starting to be like, hey, we need to do like a full disclosure project. A number of civilians are kind of seeing this thing, and it's being corroborated by our servicemen that are over open water. Finally, this culminated into the Pentagon's long awaited 2022 report, in which they finally did a full disclosure project. Along with that, they released 3 credible videos in which UAPs are being shown splashing into water and then jumping out of water, basically, and then flying all around the skies. And so now this theory, this conspiracy theory, which I believe is not just a conspiracy theory, it's real life, really shows that what we people have been seeing for hundreds of years is substantiated. Do you believe me, brethren?
Well, I feel like that's not really a conspiracy.
Some people don't believe it. Even
but like
with
if
everything,
the Pentagon is coming out with
something,
these things,
some people still don't believe it. There are a lot of haters saying that, hey,
but
even
why
though
would the Pentagon come out with
they
a
are saying
report?
this is a real conspiracy theory, I guess they're saying that, hey, maybe the Pentagon or the government has something to gain for just like pushing this false agenda.
That's so, I mean, what would that be though? There has to be an explanation for what they think the agenda
Who
might
knows? Who
be.
knows? But there are lots of people that still do not believe, even with the evidence in front of them. Therefore,
It's weird that like
still
it's
conspiracy
not
theory.
more mainstream like news and media.
Mm-hmm. It's
But I
like
mean-
earth shattering and like basically paradigm shifting for humanity as a whole, if this were real, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, there's
And
a
it
lot
is.
of like alien movies, alien books, like sci-fi books and things like that. So
Yeah, exactly. So
It's
where
not
are
that
you
weird. I
on the
mean,
spectrum?
it wasn't that hard to convince me. I feel like
I feel like I convinced you after the first video.
no, I mean, I kind of have not-
Yeah, look at
I
that.
didn't think that aliens weren't real, and I think we've talked about this. We've seen UFOs on our honeymoon. We think they were UFOs. I swear, we could not figure out what these were. These were like 2 lights that were like shining that were really close. They were above the water.
They were above the water. Yeah,
They
in
were
Italy.
like
In
too
Italy.
low to the ground,
Yeah.
but to be like a star, and too bright to be a star. But they weren't moving at all. It was like they were staying still no matter what. And we were walking for a good 15, 20 minutes along
Yeah.
the coastline,
Mhm.
right? This was in Italy near the Amalfi Coast. And we just kept staring at these 2 lights. They weren't zigzagging. So I don't know if that makes it not an alien, but it was like not a drone because
They were
too,
just hovering there the whole time.
They were
yeah.
too big to be drones, right?
Mm-hmm. They were
It
huge.
looked like they were too big.
Yeah,
to
they
be
were huge.
drones. And drones would have moved, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
right.
know. So I think we saw UFOs.
Anyways, yep. It
And
sounds like
I
we are
fully
aligned.
believe This Jedi believes it too.
Absolutely. Yep. Cool. All right. Well, that
Okay.
was my conspiracy theory.
I
Your
mean,
turn.
I don't think that was that hard. I feel like I wonder if most people believe in aliens or not.
Well, you tell us. Do you believe, or why don't you?
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you believe in aliens or not.
Yeah, and if I was able to convince
And
you,
if you've
that'd be
also
awesome.
seen a UAP,
Mhm.
UAP
Mhm.
now.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. All right,
I
your turn.
think my conspiracy theory is an actual conspiracy theory.
Okay.
I do have evidence, but open to interpretation, I suppose.
Cool. All right. Well, I will reserve my judgment
Okay.
until you tell me. I'll take my hat off.
I have my
real
notes on my
quick.
phone, so I'm
All
going
right.
to look at my phone. Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode. If you're enjoying it thus far, we would really love it if you could just follow us on YouTube and Spotify and like and subscribe to our channels there. It would mean the world to us, and we would just appreciate it so much, and it would just give us the motivation to continue doing these podcast episodes.
Thanks. Now back to the episode.
Bye.
All right, go for it.
Okay,
Let's
are
hear
you
this
ready
thing.
for this?
Sure. Yeah.
Jedi and I believe that Britney Spears is dead.
What?
Or she's being held captive.
Just like how Elvis Presley is still alive.
No, but like
And Biggie Smalls.
no, but
They're
Britney
rolling around
Spears
just chilling. And
is
Tupac.
like active on the internet, like at quote unquote Britney Spears.
Yeah.
So the conspiracy theory is that it's like a deep fake of her. So AI, Britney Spears, like
Deepfake hasn't been around that long though, and she's been actively posting things.
no,
for a while.
she's gone like off. She's gone crazy in the last like 2 years. I mean, she was under her conservatorship for like all her life until very recently.
What's a conservatorship?
It's when basically you're deemed to be mentally unstable as an adult.
Okay.
And you are not allowed to like have your freedoms. Basically, you're still under like your parents or guardian figures' control. And so they make all your decisions for you. You can't control your finances. You can't like you need to get their approval for anything at all.
Okay.
Like even going to see the doctor, medication, like all of that.
Yeah.
So, you know, she had like the crazy phase where she like shaved her head off. Like that was like a super iconic
I remember that
moment. And her, you know, being in Hollywood ever since she was a super young girl, like as we know, a lot of Hollywood figures or young teens go through like crazy phases. And so after that, like they put her under conservatorship. But I guess you don't know, but there was like this whole movement of like free Britney because
that was like one of the most viral videos of the time. That dude that was in the tent outside bawling his eyes out. It's like, Britney. I forget. I forget what it was about.
I'm gonna steal Jedi's hat.
Okay.
But yeah, so
that one suits you better, actually. This one seems like a crazy unicorn harebrained scheme. All right, anyways, continue.
Well, I told you mine's like a real conspiracy.
All right, go ahead.
Anyway, so there's this theory that she is not with us anymore. And whoever is like posting on her social media accounts is like and it's either like a filter like with deep fake AI over her. And like, or it's just a completely like fake AI thing.
Okay.
But the evidence that I will show you is mostly around her wedding that took place. I think it was like 2 years ago. Actually now she's divorced from that guy, Sam. I can't pronounce his last name, but they got married 14 months or divorced 14 months later.
Okay.
But their wedding is super, super sus because there's all these things where like there's pictures at the wedding that look really, really photoshopped.
Okay.
And then there's also like video, like movement.
Yeah.
My hats keep falling off. Where like people's arms are being warped and like clothing is being warped. And it just looks really fake.
Okay.
So I'll show you these videos.
Okay, show me.
So just to preface this one is about all these celebrities are at Britney's wedding. Like will.i.am, Donatella Versace, who is the creative director of like the Versace brand.
Okay.
There's Paris Hilton and Selena Gomez and Madonna. And there's two people here, specifically will.i.am and Donatella, that look like they have two different pictures, right? But they're exactly in the same position. Not a single strand of hair is out of place, but the backgrounds are entirely different. So clearly photoshopped. And it's like, why would you do that at this wedding, that this, you know, high profile celebrity wedding and make it look like you're in like two different pictures when clearly you're in the same exact pose?
Okay, interesting. Let's play it.
These pictures from Britney's wedding will keep you up.
Plus other celebrities.
Look closely, something is very off about them.
Look at that.
Do you notice
Do you see that background on the top photo?
Yeah.
Completely different.
That is Paris and
That's the same pose.
That's what I'm saying.
That is Donatella and Madonna at the
Look how photoshopped they look.
That is Donatella Versace and will.i.am at Britney's wedding. That is Selena Gomez and Paris.
Whoa,
They look
that
like
looks
they're in
so
different
photoshopped.
lighting,
Yeah,
right?
it's totally different lighting.
Yeah. Like literally from like
More Donatella.
Whoa, that's the same pose.
yeah.
That's the same pose again.
Look, she's in all these pictures. That's the same exact photo. Her hair strand doesn't move.
Picture again.
What?
See? I'm telling you, but they're like it's like all supposed to be at Britney's wedding.
Wait, and then they publicized this
Yeah.
too?
And thinking like people wouldn't catch on.
Comment if you see it.
See, it's really suspicious.
That's pretty sus. Okay. I'm starting to get a little convinced.
Like,
but
do you have goosebumps yet?
No. But like, why would they do that? How do they think
I
that
don't-
people wouldn't catch on? And why didn't they have any pictures with Britney?
Exactly. But these
Okay.
are all like published photos saying like, oh, like had a great time at Britney's wedding.
Published where?
Like on their Instagram or like in like not like online magazines and stuff like that.
Okay. So it wasn't like published as like a complete set. It was like individual photos that people kind of stitched together and they were like, hey, something's off
Yeah,
here.
like people found these different photos and they're like, wait, like Donatella is in the same exact, like they're in the same exact pose, but two different backgrounds, obviously, very clearly.
As someone who's edited photos before in like people in groups, that doesn't look like lighting that's consistent.
Right. And the one with Paris
groups.
Hilton and was it Selena Gomez?
Yeah.
They literally look like
that like
they're
straight up look like, you know, like cutting out people from like
magazines.
two different magazines and putting them next to each other.
Exactly. But these are like supposedly pictures from Britney Spears' wedding. And then Donatella has all these photos with other people like the groom, but why wouldn't she have pictures?
Okay, but during the wedding or after the wedding, did Britney post photos? Or are there just no photos of Britney whatsoever?
No. There are pictures of her, but they tend to be like lower quality, and the videos look like they're taken on like an iPhone like 4.
Doesn't she have residency at Las Vegas? Like at one of the hotels? It ended a while ago.
And also she was forced to keep doing that, keep working and making money because of her parents.
Okay. Yeah.
So she was tired. She's been working for like her whole life.
Gotcha. So the next time she made a big scene publicly was this wedding.
But this was at their house. So
Okay.
private, like kind of thing. Which is also kind of weird because she's one of the biggest names in the world.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I can understand wanting to do like a private wedding and things like that, but you would think that they would have more photos of Britney, like. And then
Can you show me some of the photos of her?
Yeah. So this is just another video of them actually in a group photo with Britney. And also another thing to note is that Donatella Versace like supposedly designed Britney Spears' wedding dress. So if you're the designer for the dress, you would like definitely get a picture with the bride in your dress. That seems like a very natural thing to do. And her first husband came.
Someone crashed the wedding?
Her first husband crashed the wedding because he. Okay, so this is like truly, I could see it being a little iffy, but he went on an Instagram live stream and showed up at the Britney's house where the wedding was taking place
During the wedding day?
Yeah, on the wedding day, and be like, Britney told me to come and help her or something. And he was like, where is Britney? He's like looking all around, and he can't like see Britney. He can't see the family. Like no one is like showing him where Britney is. But I think that can also be a little like iffy. But I feel like it just adds to like the strangeness of this whole wedding event.
The mystique.
Yeah.
Did this ex-husband not see any of the other stars that were there?
No, I think he got there like before the whole thing took place, but it looked like they were setting up for that wedding.
Wait, did none of these other people that were supposedly at this wedding come out and just say like, yeah, Britney's fine, I saw her?
That's the conspiracy. They are saying like it was a great wedding and all of that, but when you look at these photos or like these videos and something looks off, it's like they're all in on it together.
Why? For what purpose?
I don't know, because it's Hollywood and Hollywood is crazy and they need to
I don't know, girl. I feel like, if there were that many stars
okay, but
at
don't
the
you
wedding,
think the Illuminati is real?
What does this have to do with the Illuminati?
Just the fact that there are other things going on in like the dark parts of Hollywood that we have no idea about because we are on the outside and just normal people.
Yeah, I agree.
So
that there probably is a group
together.
that kind of oversees a lot of entertainment, finance, and just like wealth in general. But I don't really see what that has to do with this particularly.
I don't know what the connections are, but it's fishy.
Okay. I agree with you. It's a little fish. What do we have here?
This is a video, and it points out the weirdness of just like it looks fake. I'll show you.
Cool.
Look at Britney's hand going through Paris Hilton's hair. It's not like a real. It just looks like it's like green screen. Do you see that?
I didn't see anything. I was just very distracted. Can you explain the video again?
Okay, so this is like them like kind of doing like a cute little pose together in a group, right? At the wedding. And Britney's hand is kind of like moving in like through Paris Hilton's hair, but it just looks like it's like AI layered over because it doesn't actually like move her hair. It's not actually like touching it as if in real life. Like if I touch fabric moves, or my hair moves if I touch it.
Okay.
But if you look at the video, Britney's hand is kind of just like like glitching in and out of the hair.
Okay.
And you can see that. Watch.
Cool.
Watch Britney's hand. Do you see that? It's just like weird glitch, like kind of see through, like not really touching the hair. Right? Isn't that so weird?
That's kind of strange.
Right?
Yeah, that is kind of strange. So that's like another piece of evidence, this time in a video format. Do they have any videos of like the honeymoon or like, after
I don't
like
think there were. I don't know
husband
about
and
the
wife
honeymoon.
just being together?
Yeah. Actually, well, this is one photo. I'll show you. I don't
Okay.
know what. I don't know if this is a honeymoon or whatever, but a lot of people think that her now ex-husband was kind of like in on this thing because he dated her during the whole conservatorship. And if your parents are that controlling over you and like forcing you to work, literally like just kind of keeping you enslaved to them and not letting you out of this thing, like they wouldn't let her date or see anyone unless like he was kind of family approved, right?
Okay.
So there's this theory that he was like kind of in on it with the family, and that he is. I read this one time, and again, I'm going down the rabbit holes. And when I first went down the rabbit hole, this was like maybe 6 months ago or something like that. I was learning a little bit more about him, and apparently he is a film director or has some of that background, and so he is known and talked about how he has a green room in the house.
Okay.
And a room specifically that's made, I guess, to do like his film projects in, and he's like showed it off in his own like Instagram or whatever on his own social media.
Okay.
And so people are like, if he has a green room, he can like stitch together these fake scenarios or like make Britney like do stuff in the green room. Okay, so the last piece of evidence that I'll show you about this whole thing between Britney and her now ex-husband being weird and him kind of like controlling her and all that, and the wedding being fake, it's just very, very, very sus. And he has all the tools to like do these fake scenarios because of what I've explained about his green room and like his skill set, etc. And the last thing that I'm going to show you is just a picture that was uploaded on, I think it was her account. Oh, so the idea is that her social media account, like her Instagram, is being controlled by Sam or like these other people.
Sam, her ex-husband?
Her ex-husband.
Okay.
And other people who want to keep up this illusion that she is alive when she's either deceased or being controlled and held as a slave.
Okay. Sheesh. All right.
Okay, so this picture she uploaded to her Instagram, and it was apparently taken down 10 minutes later. And it's weird that, she did that. It's like a picture of them in their private airplane. They are taking a trip. I don't know if this is like honeymoon or just like a trip, but you can see because they're doing like a selfie picture, and it looks like Sam, her ex-husband, has taken the picture like because the camera is closer to his face, but they're both wearing sunglasses, so you can typically see the reflection of whatever is in front of your sunglasses, right?
Like your phone.
Yeah, like your phone and like the people. But in this picture, if you zoom in on his sunglass lens, you can see his reflection, but you can't see Britney, and Britney is supposedly behind him. So it'll show you.
Okay.
Watch. You can see that they're zooming in. You can see his phone reflecting the selfie, but you can't see her in the background.
Huh. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, because you can see his phone.
That's. I feel like you can kind of see her in the
not the
reflection.
same way.
Huh. Okay. But then are they going to zoom in on her sunglasses?
Like her
too?
sunglasses just show the like other seats. So her sunglasses don't show the camera. Her sunglasses show something different.
Yeah.
Which kind of maybe could happen if you're facing different angles, but I feel like they're generally facing the same direction, so you should also see the same thing.
I don't know yet. And if that light source in his sunglasses is that bright, it should have been shown in hers as well.
Exactly.
I think, right?
I think so.
That's kind of sus. Okay. Interesting.
I'm telling you, she is like, I don't know. I don't know what they've done with her, but the real Britney Spears is not the one that's posting, and she wasn't at the wedding, and I don't know where she is. I hope she is not, you know, like dead or being enslaved, but I don't know. It's just so suspicious.
Okay. It is pretty suspicious, but do I believe this whole Britney is dead conspiracy? Um,
Babe, think about the evidence I just showed you. Like all
okay.
the fake things that are clearly.
That's true, but this was produced within TikTok University, and you know how I feel about TikTok University.
Okay, but TikTok, just because it's on TikTok doesn't mean it's fake. Your stuff is on YouTube. This stuff is on YouTube too.
Interesting point. Well, with that, then I will have to. I have to agree. Then we got to find our girl Britney.
Wait, you believe me for real?
That's some pretty damning evidence, honestly. I don't get why they would post those photos on multiple accounts, and
Yeah, it's on the internet.
it just exists like that. And they didn't think that people with like just like any shred of editing
There's more. There's way more than this, but I had to
ability wouldn't find out.
I had to whittle it down.
Well, you whittled it down pretty well because I am now a believer. I mean, what
Believer?
What do you call those?
That's a
Britney
different
Spears?
conspiracy.
Yeah, that's a different kind of conspiracy. Yeah. Well, good job. Well, thank you all so much for joining us on episode 7. We know that it was a little bit random, but we hope you had fun kind of diving deep into these conspiracies with us. We hope to be doing more of these kinds of fun little shindigs here and there as your hat fell down. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully you guys had fun. We'll see you guys next time for another round, another episode of, I think, normal Couch
Yes,
Busters.
but let us know in the comments if you believe in our theories or not. If you disagree with us, we'd like to know. If you agree with us and if we've convinced you, let us know you're part of the tinfoil hat family.
If you believe, subscribe.
Yeah.
If you don't, subscribe.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. See you next time.
Bye.